Chapter 1. The Awakening of the Walking Wallet. Autumn. Shanghai International Finance University. 7:23 a.m. Lin Sui woke up with a hangover, a mouth that tasted like regret, and a strange certainty that the universe had played a cruel joke on him. The ceiling was wrong. His apartment was wrong. The phone buzzing on his nightstand had a case he'd never bought, matte black with a tiny silver dragon. He didn't own decals. He didn't even like dragons. Then the memories hit. Not his memories. A novel's memories. He had read this trash fire during finals week last life. Campus Heartthrob's first love, 300-plus chapters of recycled tropes, a female lead who weaponized tears, and a second male lead so pathetic that readers created support groups for him. That second male lead was him now. Lin Sui. Rich, devoted, endlessly used. The human ATM. The emotional punching bag. The guy who gets discarded in Chapter 247 with empty bank accounts and a broken heart. Lin Sui stared at the ceiling. "No," he said aloud. "Absolutely not. I refuse." His phone buzzed. "Wei baby, heart. Sui Ji, did you sleep well? I saw that limited edition bag. The pink one? The one I cried about? Still there. Just saying, cute crying face emoji." In the original novel, this was the moment he transferred 50,000 yuan without blinking. Lin Sui typed back, "Cry louder. Maybe the bag will feel bad for you." Then he blocked her. On everything. WeChat, WhatsApp, the weird campus app called Pink Chat that he apparently had. He even blocked her on LinkedIn for good measure. Then he threw his phone across the room. It landed on a pile of designer clothes. He'd be fine. 2 hours later. University cafeteria. Zhao Xiaodian was already at their usual table, halfway through his third baozi, scrolling his phone like a man watching a car crash in slow motion. "Bro," Xiaodian said, eyes wide. "Bro, you told Chen Weiwei to cry louder? The entire campus is losing its mind." She posted a selfie with teary eyes and the caption, "When the person you trusted most becomes a stranger," and got 20,000 likes. 20,000, bro. Lin Sui stole a piece of Xiao Yan's egg pancake. Good for her. She can cry in her new bag. Oh, wait. She's not getting one. You're not buying it? Nope. The one she cried about? She cries about everything. She cried last week because her latte had foam. Foam, Xiaodian. It's called a spoon. Stir it. Xiaodian stared at him like he'd just announced he was dropping out to become a mime. Who are you? You literally bought her a Vespa because her legs were tired. You bought her a Vespa for tired legs. That's not normal, bro. That's a cry for help. Lin Sui winced. The original second male lead's memories were flooding in. All the times he'd emptied his accounts. All the fake smiles. All the times she'd thanked him and then immediately texted her friends. He's so clingy. But the money is good. I've had a revelation, Lin Sui said solemnly. Chen Weiwei is not a good person. She's not even a good character. She's just pretty and manipulative. And I've decided I have dignity. Dignity, Xiaodian repeated slowly. You? I know. Shocking. I'm as surprised as you. Before Xiaodian could respond, Lin Sui's gaze drifted across the cafeteria and stopped. There, in the corner by the window, sat a boy who looked like he'd been carved from winter itself. Gu Yanchen, the male lead. In the novel, Gu Yanchen was described as cold, distant, emotionally unavailable. But the reality was sharper. High cheekbones, dark eyes that missed nothing, shoulders that seemed permanently braced for impact. He was reading an advanced econometrics textbook, a single cup of black coffee cooling beside him. No phone, no friends, just the book and the silence. Lin Sui had always hated Gu Yanchen's ending. Even after winning the female lead, he wasn't happy. The author had written a romance where no one actually respected anyone. It was a tragedy disguised as fluff. That's the Ice Prince, Xiao Tian said, following his gaze. Don't bother, man. He doesn't talk to anyone. Last year, a girl literally fainted in front of him, and he stepped over her to get to class. That's not cold. That's efficient. The paramedics were coming anyway. Lin Sui. No. Lin Sui, yes. He stood up. He grabbed a cup of coffee. Black, no sugar, because that's what Gu Yanchen drank in the novel, and walked toward the corner table with the confidence of a man who had nothing to lose and absolutely no plan. He tripped. On purpose. Mostly. The coffee flew. Time slowed. The cup spun twice in air before landing perfectly upside down on the open pages of Derivatives and Risk Management, 7th edition. Brown liquid seeped into Chapter 6. The words binomial trees became abstract art. Gu Yanqin looked up, and Lin Sui forgot how to breathe. The novel hadn't captured this. The words cold expression didn't convey the weight of those eyes, calm, assessing, and utterly unbothered by the destruction of an expensive textbook. "I'm so sorry," Lin Sui said. I'll buy you a new one. Actually, I'll buy you 10. I'll buy the publisher. I'll buy the printing press. Just tell me who to call." Gu Yanqin blinked. "Once. It's fine. It's not fine. Your notes are ruined. You highlighted the section on black shoals. I can see the yellow marks bleeding through the coffee. That's at least 3 hours of work." Another blink. "Slower this time. You know the material?" "I know a lot of things." Lin Sui sat down without waiting for permission. "I'm Lin Sui. 3rd year. Finance. Recently reformed from being a human wallet. Very exciting times. I know who you are." Gu Yanqin's voice was low measured. "You're Chen Weiwei's." "Nothing." Lin Sui said it like a door slamming. "I'm nothing to her anymore. She's uninvited from my life." It was a ceremony. Very cathartic. Gu Yanqin studied him for a long moment. "You're strange. I get that a lot. That wasn't a compliment. I'll take what I can get." And then, impossibly, the corner of Gu Yanqin's mouth twitched. Not a smile. Not even close. But a twitch. The first crack in the ice. Lin Sui filed it away like a treasure. "So," Lin Sui said, leaning back. "Derivatives. Binomial trees. Tell me why Chapter 6 is the worst chapter in that textbook." Gu Yanqin looked at the coffee-soaked pages, then at Lin Sui, then back at the pages. "Give me your phone," he said. "Why? I'm putting my number in it. If you're going to destroy my textbook, you can at least text me the replacement link." Lin Sui handed over his phone so fast he nearly dropped it. And that's how the chaos began. Chapter 2. The Reverse Flower-Chasing Script. 3 weeks later, Lin Sui had a problem. Actually, he had several problems, but the main one was that Gu Yanqin was everywhere once you started looking for him. Monday and Thursday, Finance Club in Building 7 basement. Gu Yanqin sat in the front row, asked exactly 2 questions per session, and never spoke to anyone socially. Lin Sui, who had never attended Finance Club before, became a regular. He sat in the back and spent the entire hour watching Gu Yanqin's hands. Long fingers, neat handwriting, a small scar on his right thumb from some old injury Lin Sui desperately wanted the story behind. Wednesday afternoons, library. Same corner table. Same black coffee. Lin Sui started coincidentally studying nearby. He brought extra snacks. He left energy drinks on Gu's books when he forgot them. He wrote terrible puns on post-it notes. "You're the derivative to my integral. You complete the area under my curve." Gu Yanqin read that one, stared at it for 5 seconds, and said, "That's not how integrals work." "But you smiled." "I did not smile. You smiled internally. I saw it. I have internal smile radar. You're exhausting, and yet you haven't moved to a different table." Gu Yanqin didn't have an answer for that. Friday evenings, Gu Yanqin worked at a cafe off campus, Brew & Code, a tiny place that smelled like espresso and old computers and desperation. Lin Sui became a regular. He ordered the most expensive drink on the menu, the Dragon's Breath Latte, 88 yuan, and left 100 yuan tips. He also learned to make the perfect pour-over because he was committed. "You're stalking him," Xiao Dian observed on the 4th Friday, watching from a corner booth. "I'm supporting him," Lin Sui corrected. "There's a difference. You know his work schedule. You know his coffee order. You know his laundry schedule. I saw you leave fabric softener on his desk. That was anonymous. There was a bow on it, Lin Sui. A small bow. Tasteful. Beige. It matched his aesthetic." Xiao Dian put his head in his hands. "You've gone from chasing the worst girl on campus to chasing the scariest guy on campus. This is not an upgrade in terms of emotional availability. Watch and learn." Lin Sui walked to the counter where Gu Yanqin was wiping down the espresso machine. He slid a folded piece of paper across the surface. Gu Yanqin looked at it. What's this? Tuition. You're behind on this month's payment. I fixed it. The silence that followed was deafening. Gu Yanqin's hands stopped moving. His jaw tightened. His entire body went rigid like a wire pulled too tight. I don't need charity. It's not charity. It's an investment. Lin Sui leaned against the counter, casual as a house cat. I'm starting a CFA study group. I want you to lead it. Consider this your advance payment. I didn't agree to lead anything. You will. Lin Sui smiled, bright and unshakable. You're the smartest person in our year. Everyone knows it. Even the professors know it. Professor Zhang literally called you the most promising student in a decade during a lecture. I was there. I took notes. Gu Yanqin's ear twitched. You're not going to leave me alone, are you? Not even a little bit. What? Lin Sui thought about it. He could lie. He could deflect. He could play it cool. Instead, he said, because you're interesting. Most people here are boring. They want money or status or the right connections. You just want to learn. And you play piano in the music building at night when you think no one's listening. Sad pieces. Mostly Chopin. You're terrible at happy songs. Gu Yanqin's expression cracked. Just a little. How do you know about the piano? I told you. I pay attention. You're still strange. I know. Lin Sui tapped the paper. Study group. Monday, 7 p.m., room 212. I'll bring pizza. Not the cheap kind. The good kind with the stuffed crust. He walked away before Gu Yanqin could refuse. Behind him, Xiao Dian was filming everything on his phone. For the documentary, he whispered. When this inevitably becomes a movie called How to Stalk Your Future Boyfriend, a love story. Monday, 7 p.m., room 212. 23 students showed up, mostly for the pizza, but also for Gu Yanqin, whose reputation as a math prodigy had spread. Gu Yanqin stood at the whiteboard, marker in hand, explaining options pricing with a clarity that made Lin Sui's heart do uncomfortable things. He didn't use notes. He didn't stutter. He just knew, and the knowledge flowed out of him like water. Halfway through, Chen Weiwei walked in. She was beautiful. Lin Sui couldn't deny that. Long dark hair, designer clothes, an aura of entitlement that she wore like a crown. In the novel, this was the moment she'd discover Gu Yanqin's brilliance and begin her slow, manipulative seduction. She smiled at Lin Sui first. Suiji, you've been avoiding me. You've been blocked, Lin Sui said pleasantly. There's a seat in the back if you want to learn about derivatives. If you want to talk about us, there's no us. The door's over there. Gasps. Phones came out. This was better than Campus Drama Club. Chen Weiwei's smile froze. Can we talk privately? Please. No. Lin Sui turned back to the whiteboard. Yanqin, you were explaining put-call parity. Please continue. Gu Yanqin looked between them, then nodded. Put-call parity. The relationship between European put and call options. Gu Yanqin. Chen Weiwei's voice dropped to a purr. I've heard so much about you. Then you've heard I don't like interruptions. Gu Yanqin didn't even look at her. Put-call parity assumes no arbitrage. If the prices don't align. Chen Weiwei stood in the doorway for another 30 seconds, face cycling through confusion, anger, and something that looked like genuine hurt. Then she left. Lin Sui didn't watch her go, but Gu Yanqin did. After the study group ended and the other students filed out, Gu Yanqin caught Lin Sui's arm. His grip was light but firm. You really don't care about her anymore. It wasn't a question. I really don't. Lin Sui pulled his arm back slowly, not because he wanted to, but because his skin was burning where Gu Yanqin had touched it. She's not a good person. She takes and never gives back. I'm done being a resource. What changed? I read the book, Lin Sui thought. I saw the ending. I decided to steal you instead. Out loud, he said, I realized I deserve better. That's all. Gu Yanqin studied him. Those dark eyes missed nothing. Most people don't wake up from that. From her. From the money. From the lifestyle. Most people aren't me. No, Gu Yanqin said quietly. They aren't. They stood in the empty classroom, the whiteboard still covered in Gu Yanqin's neat handwriting, the smell of marker ink and cold pizza between them. Lin Sui felt the moment stretch, heavy with something unnamed. So, Lin Sui said, keeping his voice light. Same time next week? I don't need the money anymore. You already paid my tuition. Then come for the pizza. Or the company. Lin Sui shrugged. Or don't. But I'll be here. He left before Gu Yanchen could respond, walking down the empty hallway with his hands in his pockets and a grin he couldn't suppress. Late night. Study lounge. 2 weeks later. It was 2 a.m. Lin Sui was half dead over a statistics problem set when Gu Yanchen slid into the seat across from him, holding 2 cups of noodles. You're still here, Gu Yanchen said. You're still here. I live here during exam week. It's cheaper than rent. They ate in silence for a while. Then Gu Yanchen set down his chopsticks. Are you hitting on me? Lin Sui inhaled a noodle. He coughed. He grabbed his water. He wheezed. What? Are you hitting on me? Gu Yanchen's expression was unreadable, but his ears were red. Red. The kind of red that spread down to his neck. Lin Sui set down his noodles. His heart was racing, but his mind was clear. In the original novel, this moment never happened. The second male lead never asked this question. The story wasn't built for it. But Lin Sui wasn't playing the original story anymore. Would that be a problem? He asked. Gu Yanchen's ears got redder. I've never. I know. Lin Sui leaned forward slightly. I'm not asking for an answer tonight. I'm just telling you I like you. Not as a study partner. Not as a friend. I like you. And I'm not going to stop being around just because you're confused about it. You don't even know me. I know you work 3 jobs. I know you take care of your mom, even though she abandoned you. I know you play sad piano music because you don't know how to play happy ones. I know you're scared of disappointing people, so you keep everyone at arm's length. I know you. Ow! Lin Sui smiled, soft and sad. Because I've been watching. That's all. The silence stretched. Outside, Shanghai was still awake, glowing through the window. Then Gu Yanchen stood up, took Lin Sui's empty noodle cup, and threw both of them in the trash. He walked to the door, paused, and looked back. Monday, he said. 7 p.m. Room 212. I'll bring the markers this time. He left. Lin Sui sat there for a full minute, heart pounding, before he let out a breathless laugh. That wasn't a no. Chapter 3. The FL's Trashy Counterattack. Winter. Campus gossip networks. On fire. It started small. A whisper here, a comment there. Did you hear about Lin Sui? He's been following Gu Yanchen around like a lost puppy. I heard he paid Gu's tuition. Creepy, right? Maybe he's just being nice. Maybe he's obsessed. Then it escalated. An anonymous post appeared on the university forum titled, Sifu's richest boy has lost his mind. The post alleged that Lin Sui had been harassing Gu Yanchen for months, showing up at his work, his classes, his study spaces. It implied that Lin Sui was confused and taking his rejection from Chun Weiwei out on an innocent scholarship student. It ended with, shouldn't someone protect Gu Yanchen from this rich predator? Lin Sui read it on his phone in the cafeteria, surrounded by people who were definitely staring at him. Shouty Yan, he said calmly. Yeah, bro. I'm about to become the villain they already think I am. But politely. Don't. Shouty Yan grabbed his arm. That's what she wants. Come on. Who else knows your business and has a grudge? Weiwei wrote that. Or paid someone to write it. The grammar is too good for her, so probably a paid post. Lin Sui considered this. Shouty Yan was right. In the original novel, Chun Weiwei's villain arc didn't start until chapter 120, when she got jealous of another girl. But Lin Sui had accelerated things by rejecting her early. She was lashing out. The smart move was to ignore it. Let the gossip die. But then Gu Yanchen walked into the cafeteria, and someone in the corner said loudly, There's the victim. Poor guy. Lin Sui's blood went cold. He watched Gu Yanchen pause, absorb the stares, keep walking, shoulders straight, expression blank. That was his armor, the mask that said I don't care. But Lin Sui knew it was a mask. He'd seen underneath. Before Lin Sui could stand up, Gu Yanchen pulled out his phone, typed furiously for 30 seconds, and pocketed it. Xiaoyan's phone buzzed. His eyes went wide. Oh, shit. What? Shouty Yan turned the screen around. Gu Yanchen had posted on the same forum, in the same thread. To everyone speculating about my personal life. Lin Sui has been nothing but kind to me. He paid my tuition because I was about to be expelled. He shows up because he cares. Even if he likes me, that's not your business. And he's been kinder to me than any of you have ever been. Stop spreading lies. GY. The cafeteria went silent. Lin Sui looked across the room at Gu Yanchen, who was now calmly eating his lunch like he hadn't just detonated a bomb. Lin Sui stood up, walked across the cafeteria, sat down next to Gu Yanchen. Did you just defend me to the entire university? You didn't deserve that post. Gu Yanchen didn't look up from his rice. She's trying to hurt you because you stopped letting her use you. I won't let that happen. You could have stayed out of it. Protected yourself. I don't want to protect myself from you. Now Gu Yanchen looked up. His eyes were dark and steady. I told you before, I don't care about money. I care about loyalty. You're strange, but you're not fake. Lin Sui's throat tightened. Thank you. Don't thank me. Just keep showing up. I will. They ate lunch together, shoulders almost touching, while the rest of the cafeteria whispered and watched. Winter Gala. 2 weeks later. Black tie. Expensive champagne. The annual event where rich kids networked and scholarship students tried to survive. Lin Sui wore a navy blue suit, no tie, top buttons undone. His hair was styled back. He looked like money in trouble, and he knew it. Gu Yanchen was across the ballroom, talking to a finance professor. He'd borrowed a suit from the university's career closet, slightly too big, but he wore it like armor. He looked gorgeous and uncomfortable. Lin Sui was about to cross to him when Chen Weiwei appeared. She was stunning in red silk, her hair curled, her smile razor-sharp. Lin Sui, you look well. Weiwei. He kept his voice neutral. Enjoying the party? I would enjoy it more if you talked to me properly. She stepped closer, close enough that her perfume surrounded him. I don't understand what happened. We were good together. We weren't. You used me. I let you. That's not good. I can change. I have changed. Just give me another chance. Chen Weiwei. He said her full name deliberately, creating distance. I'm not your backup plan. I'm not your wallet. And I'm definitely not interested in watching you pretend to love me while you save your real feelings for someone else. Her eyes flickered, guilt maybe, or calculation. You mean Gu Yanchen? You think I like him? I know you do. Lin Sui smiled, thin and cold. But that's not happening. Because he's mine. The words came out before he could stop them. Chen Weiwei's eyes went wide. Yours? Lin Sui, he's a guy. So, she stared at him. Then her expression hardened. You're doing this to spite me. You heard I was interested in him. So you. I didn't even know you noticed him until today. Lin Sui stepped back. Thanks for confirming it, though. Now I know why you're really upset. He turned and walked away, leaving her alone in red silk. Across the room, Gu Yanchen had finished his conversation and was watching. He'd seen everything. Lin Sui walked up to him, heart pounding. Hey, Chen Weiwei just tried to seduce me back. I saw. She said you're just a guy. I'm just a guy. No, you're not. Lin Sui looked at him, really looked, at the sharp jaw, the tired eyes, the hands that had held so many part-time jobs and still found time to tutor him through derivatives. You're the person I want. The music changed to something slower. Couples moved onto the dance floor. Gu Yanchen didn't move. What are you doing? I'm about to do something very stupid. Lin Sui. And Lin Sui kissed him. On the mouth. In front of everyone. It was brief. Just a press of lips, a question asked. Gu Yanchen froze for one heartbeat, too. Then his hand came up to the back of Lin Sui's neck, and he kissed back. The ballroom didn't explode. But phones came out. Cameras clicked. By morning, the entire university would know. Lin Sui pulled back, breathless. Sorry. I should have asked first. Shut up. Gu Yanchen's voice was rough. His ears were crimson. Just shut up and kiss me again. Lin Sui laughed and obeyed. Chapter 4. The villain becomes the boyfriend. 3 days later. Lin Sui's apartment. Snow falling outside. The kiss at the winter gala had broken the campus internet. By morning, there were 17 different angles of the video circulating. Someone had edited it with romantic classical music. Someone else had edited it with Never Gonna Give You Up as a rickroll. Xiao Dian had framed a screenshot and hung it in the student lounge. Lin Sui's mother called at 8 a.m. Is he handsome? Send a photo. No, send 10 photos. Does he have good teeth? Your father wants to know if he's good at math. He's a finance major, Mom. He's great at math. Good. Your father failed calculus twice. We need smart genes in this family. Lin Sui hung up, deeply concerned about what his mother thought genes meant in this context. Gu Yanqin, meanwhile, had not answered a single message. His phone was blowing up, old classmates, professors, even his part-time boss from the cafe. He turned it off and thrown it on Lin Sui's couch. I can't, Gu Yanqin said, pacing the living room. I can't do this. Do what? Exist. Lin Sui was eating cereal directly from the box. Because you're very good at existing. Top tier existing. 10 out of 10. Everyone is looking at me. They were already looking at you. You're tall and mysterious, and you have that whole I might murder you or recite poetry vibe. This just gives them something to talk about. Gu Yanqin stopped pacing. You're not nervous at all? Of course I'm nervous. Lin Sui put down the cereal box. I just kissed a boy in front of 500 people. My grandmother is going to have opinions. My father is going to ask about succession planning. My mother already wants her dental records. I'm a mess. You don't look like a mess. That's because I'm wearing a very expensive sweater. Sweaters hide anxiety. It's science. Gu Yanqin stared at him for a long moment. Then he laughed. Not a small laugh. A real one. A laugh that seemed to surprise him as much as it surprised Lin Sui. Shoulders shaking, head tipping back, the whole thing. Lin Sui forgot how to breathe. Did you just laugh? Lin Sui whispered. I'm under duress. You laughed. A real laugh. Not a sarcastic exhale. Not a that's mildly amusing nose exhale. A laugh. With sound. Shut up. I'm never letting you forget this. I'm getting it engraved. Gu Yanqin grabbed a pillow and threw it at him. Lin Sui caught it, grinning like an idiot. They spent the rest of the day hiding in the apartment. Xiaodian brought groceries and left them outside the door with a note that said, if you two are going to be the campus power couple, at least come out for air. Also, Wei Wei posted a cryptic quote about betrayal on her story. Should I be worried? Lin Sui texted back. Ignore her. She's background noise now. That night. Couch. Takeout containers everywhere. They were watching a terrible reality show, something about rich people fighting over yachts, when Gu Yanqin spoke again. So, what are we? Lin Sui paused the show. A rich woman was frozen mid-scream. What do you want us to be? I asked first. You're deflecting. You're avoiding. They stared at each other. Then Lin Sui broke. Okay, fine. I want us to be together. Like, actually together. Boyfriends. Partners. The couple that makes other couples sick because we're too cute. I want to hold your hand in public and annoy you with terrible puns and wake up next to you and steal your hoodies. I want the whole thing. Gu Yanqin was quiet for a moment. Then, already steal my hoodies. I know, but now I want to do it officially. Another pause. Then Gu Yanqin reached over and took Lin Sui's hand. His fingers were cold. He was always cold, but his grip was firm. Okay, Gu Yanqin said. Okay. Boyfriends. Official. But if you tell anyone I said yes this fast, I'll deny it. I have witnesses. Lin Sui pointed at the TV. The screaming yacht lady saw everything. I hate you. No, you don't. No, Gu Yanqin agreed quietly. I don't. Lin Sui leaned over and kissed him. Soft, slow, tasting of takeout noodles and something sweeter. When he pulled back, Gu Yanqin's ears were red. I'm going to make you so happy, Lin Sui said. It's going to be obnoxious. I'm already obnoxiously happy. It's very annoying. Good. That's the goal. They unpaused the show. The rich lady was still screaming. Lin Sui didn't watch a single second of it. He was too busy watching Gu Yanqin's profile. The way the TV light flickered across his cheekbones, the small smile he was trying to hide. This, Lin Sui thought. This is better than any plot. 1 month later, the first real fight. It was stupid. All their fights were stupid. Lin Sui had made a joke. Something about Gu Yanqin being emotionally constipated. And Gu Yanqin had gone quiet. Not his usual quiet. The bad quiet. The quiet that meant Lin Sui had hit something real. You know I was kidding, right? Lin Sui said, following him into the kitchen. I know. Then why are you shutting down? I'm not shutting down. You're literally standing in front of the fridge with the door open. It's been 3 minutes. The milk is getting warm. Gu Yanshen closed the fridge. He didn't turn around. My mom, he said finally. She used to say I was too much. Too quiet. Too cold. Too hard to love. Lin Sui's chest ached. She was wrong. She was my mother. Mothers can be wrong. Mine thinks I should have been a lawyer. I would be a terrible lawyer. I cried during commercials. Gu Yanshen turned around. His eyes were wet. I don't know how to do this. The feelings thing. The talking thing. I've been alone for so long, and then you showed up, and you just stayed. And I don't know why. Lin Sui crossed the kitchen and took his face in both hands. I stay because I want to. Not because you're easy. Not because you're perfect. Because you're you. The quiet. The cold. The part that's hard to love. I love that part too. I love all of it. You're gonna make me cry. Then cry. I'll cry with you. We'll be a mess together. Gu Yanshen laughed, wet and shaky, and pulled Lin Sui into a hug so tight it hurt. They stood in the kitchen, fridge humming, milk slowly warming, and held each other until the moment passed. Chapter 5. The Truth Bomb. Rainy night. Rooftop of the business school. 2 weeks later. They'd been happy. Actually, genuinely, stupidly happy. Then Shen Weiwei found the notebook. Lin Sui had forgotten about it. The journal he'd kept in his first week, when he was still treating this world like a game. Every character analysis. Every plot prediction. Every cynical calculation. And at the bottom of the last page, in capital letters, Jiu Yanshen is the key. Win him. Win everything. She'd broken into his apartment. Borrowed the spare key from the front desk. Told the staff she was his girlfriend picking up his mail. They believed her. By the time Lin Sui found out, the photos were already online. Sifu's richest boy exposed. He's been playing Gu Yanshen all along. The post had screenshots. His handwriting. His words. His cruelty preserved in ink. Xiao Dian called at 11 p.m. Bro, tell me that's fake. It's not fake. Then tell me you have an explanation. I have an explanation. It's a terrible explanation. But I have one. Where are you? On my way to find him. Lin Sui. But Lin Sui had already hung up. The rooftop. Rain. Gu Yanshen was standing by the railing. Rain soaking through his shirt. Foam clutched in his hand. He didn't turn around when Lin Sui burst through the door. Yanshen. Don't. Please. Let me explain. You wrote it. Gu Yanshen's voice was flat. Dead. Those are your words. Your handwriting. I've seen you write. The way you loop your G's. The way you do your eyes with a circle instead of dot. It's you. Yes. It's me. From 4 months ago. For months. I was different then. Were you? Gu Yanshen turned around, and Lin Sui wished he hadn't. His face wasn't angry. It was worse. It was empty. You said I was a character. A key. A tool to win against her. You said, and I quote, Gu Yanshen is the asset. Protect the asset. Lin Sui flinched. I wrote that before I knew you. You knew me from the book. You said you'd read the whole thing. You said you knew my favorite music, my schedule, my coffee order. You knew everything except me. And you still wrote that. I was scared. Lin Sui's voice broke. I woke up in a world I didn't ask for, with a future that was supposed to destroy me. I thought if I could control everything, if I could treat it like a game, I wouldn't get hurt. I was wrong. Wrong. I fell in love with you. Not because of the plot. Not because you were the male lead. Because you're kind. Because you defended me when everyone was gossiping. Because you play sad piano music and you never learned to play happy songs, and that broke my heart. Because you're you, and I would burn every page of that stupid book just to keep you. Gu Yanshen stared at him. The rain kept falling. You should have told me, Gu Yanshen said finally. Before. When I asked. You should have told me everything. I was scared you'd leave. I'm still here. I know. Lin Sui stepped closer. And I don't deserve it. But I'm asking anyway. Don't go. Yell at me. Throw things at me. Hate me for a while. But don't go. Gu Yanshen didn't move for a long time. Then he dropped his phone on the wet ground, walked forward, and grabbed Lin Sui's face with both hands. You're an idiot, he said. I know. A complete, manipulative, emotionally constipated idiot. I know. And I'm still here. Gu Yanshen kissed him. hard, desperate, rain sliding between their lips. I hate that I'm still here. Then hate me. I do. I also love you. It's very confusing. Lin Sui laughed, wet and messy, and pulled him closer. They stood on the rooftop until the rain stopped, holding each other, the ruined notebook pages washing away somewhere below. Chapter 6. The Business Power Couple. Spring semester. 3 months later, Chen Weiwei transferred to a university in Singapore. No one threw her a going-away party. Lin Sui didn't even notice she was gone until Xiao Tian mentioned it at lunch. Good riddance, Xiao Tian said, stealing Lin Sui's spring rolls. She was bad for your brand. My brand? You're a public figure now. You and Ice Prince. The campus power couple. People ship you. There's fan art. Someone wrote a fanfic where you're both undercover spies. Lin Sui choked on his drink. There's what? Don't read it. It's explicit. I'm absolutely reading it. Please don't. There's a scene involving a library and very little clothing. I said I'm reading it, Xiao Tian. I didn't say I'd tell you about it. Xiao Tian sighed. You're impossible. I'm in love. There's a difference. Meanwhile, Gu Yanqin had changed. Not dramatically. He still didn't smile much in public. He still preferred silence to small talk. But Lin Sui noticed the small things. The way Gu Yanqin leaned into his touch now, the way he sometimes hummed while cooking, the way he'd started leaving little notes in Lin Sui's textbooks. You forgot to study Chapter 9. It's on the exam. I love you. Your hair is a disaster today. Still cute, though. I bought more of that tea you like. Don't drink it all in one day. Lin Sui kept every single note in a box under his bed. He would never admit this to anyone. The startup idea. It came to Lin Sui at 3 a.m., as most of his ideas did. We should start a company. Gu Yanqin, half asleep, mumbled, go back to sleep. No, listen. Fintech. AI investment algorithms for normal people. Your models, my money, our reputation. We're young. We're hot. We're a love story. The media will eat it up. You want to monetize our relationship? I want to monetize your brain. The relationship is just a bonus. Gu Yanqin opened one eye. You're serious. I'm always serious about money. You bought a golden retriever last week because it looked sad. That dog was depressed, Yanqin. I saved his life. We don't even have a yard. We have a balcony. Dogs can adapt. Gu Yanqin sat up, rubbing his face. Okay, tell me your idea. But if it's stupid, I'm going back to sleep. It wasn't stupid. By morning, they had a 5-page plan. By the end of the week, they had a prototype. By the end of the month, they had a pitch deck and a name, plot twist capital, because Lin Sui refused to let Gu Yanqin forget the meta joke. You're going to bankrupt us with that name, Gu Yanqin said. Investors love stories. Our name has a story. Our name is a pun. The best names are puns. Google is a pun. Google is not a pun. Google is absolutely a pun. It's a misspelling of Google, which is a number. That's math humor. Investors love math humor. Gu Yanqin stared at him. I hate that you're making sense. I always make sense. You're just not ready for my genius. The national competition. May. Shanghai. 20 universities. 1 prize. Lin Sui had never been more nervous in his life, and he'd lived 2 of them. They presented in the morning. Gu Yanqin handled the technical questions, the algorithm, the risk assessment, the data security. Lin Sui handled the business side, the market fit, the scalability, the why we're better than everyone else. They were a good team. Better than good. They were synergistic, a word Lin Sui had always hated until he realized it applied to them. The judges asked 12 questions. Gu Yanqin answered 10 of them. Lin Sui answered 2. One judge, an older woman with sharp glasses, looked at them and said, You finish each other's sentences. How long have you been working together? Lin Sui glanced at Gu Yanqin. Gu Yanqin glanced back. About 6 months, Lin Sui said. Feels like longer, Gu Yanqin added. The judge smiled. They won. The announcement came at 4 p.m. Lin Sui was in the bathroom when his phone buzzed. He saw the email, screamed, ran out of the bathroom, ran through the conference center, and tackled Gu Yanqin in the middle of the lobby. We won, we won, we won. You're crushing my ribs. I don't care. We won. People were staring. Xiao Tian was filming. Somewhere, A reporter was taking notes for a young entrepreneurs to watch article. Gu Yanchen hugged him back. Tight. Okay, we won. Now get off me before you break something. Never. I'm never getting off you. This is my life now. Lin Sui. Yes, boyfriend. You're insufferable. You love it. I love you. The insufferable part is negotiable. They celebrated that night with Xiaotian and a few friends, cheap champagne, expensive takeout, and a lot of laughing. Gu Yanchen didn't laugh much, but he smiled. Real smiles. The kind that reached his eyes. Lin Sui memorized every single one. Chapter 7. Not an ending, a beginning. Graduation day. Summer. 1 year later. The grand hall was packed. Parents, professors, a few confused grandparents who didn't understand why their grandson was dating a very handsome young man, but were supportive anyway. Lin Sui sat in the third row, wearing his cap and gown, trying not to cry. He failed immediately. Gu Yanchen was on stage, receiving the Outstanding Graduate Award. Highest honors in finance, perfect GPA, and a startup already valued at 15 million yuan. He looked beautiful. His cap was slightly crooked. His gown was too long. He was the most gorgeous thing Lin Sui had ever seen. When Gu Yanchen looked down at the audience, he found Lin Sui immediately. And he smiled. Not the small smile. Not the private one. A real, full public smile. Someone in the crowd audibly gasped. Lin Sui cried harder. After the ceremony, they found each other in the courtyard, surrounded by cherry blossoms and graduation balloons. Xiaotian was already there, taking photos, tears streaming down his face. I'm not crying, Xiaotian said, sobbing. It's allergies. It's February. Spring allergies. There's no pollen in February. There's allergies, Lin Sui. Don't be ableist. Lin Sui's parents arrived next. His mother hugged Gu Yanchen like a second son, patted his cheeks, and said, You're too thin. Are you eating? Lin Sui, is he eating? He eats, Mom. He doesn't look like he eats. I eat, Gu Yanchen said, mildly alarmed. Good. Come over for dinner Sunday. I'm making dumplings. Lin Sui's father will teach you mahjong. He needs someone to lose to him so he feels better about himself. Lin Sui's father grunted. I don't need to be lose to. You lost the cat last week, dear. The cat cheated. It's a cat. Cats can cheat. They're sneaky. The crowd thinned out. Parents left. Xiaotian went to find snacks. The sun began to set, casting everything in gold. Lin Sui and Gu Yanchen stood by the fountain, hands intertwined. So Lin Sui said, That's it. For years. 2 lifetimes. 1 trashy novel. And we made it. We made it, Gu Yanchen agreed. I should say something profound. Please don't. I'm going to say something profound. Lin Sui. To whoever wrote that original trashy novel, Lin Sui turned to face the imaginary camera, arms wide. Thanks for the blueprint. But your FL was boring, your ML deserved better, and your plot was a mess. So I stole him. I stole the whole story. And I'd do it again. A passing professor looked at him strangely. Gu Yanchen buried his face in his hands. You're talking to yourself again, Gu Yanchen said. It's called narration, baby. Don't call me baby in public. Fine. Sweetheart. Darling. My little derivative. I'm leaving. No, you're not. Lin Sui grabbed his hand. You're stuck with me. Forever. That's the deal. Gu Yanchen looked at their joined hands, then at Lin Sui's face. The sunset caught his eyes, made them warm. Forever's a long time, Gu Yanchen said quietly. Good. I want a long time. They kissed by the fountain, cherry blossoms falling around them, while Xiaotian took approximately 700 photos from a bush. That night, in Lin Sui's apartment, their apartment now, Gu Yanchen had moved in 3 months ago. They sat on the balcony, watching the Shanghai skyline. Do you think about it? Gu Yanchen asked. The original story? Sometimes, Lin Sui admitted. I wonder if there's another version of us somewhere. The ones who didn't make it. The ones who followed the plot. That's depressing. I know. Lin Sui leaned his head on Gu Yanchen's shoulder. But we're not them. We're the ones who broke the script. Gu Yanchen was quiet for a moment. Then good. I like this version. Me too. They watched the lights until midnight, holding hands, saying nothing. Somewhere, in another universe, the original novel was still playing out. Chapter 247, the sad ending, the credits rolling on a story nobody loved. But not here. Here, the second male lead had won. Here, the villain got the boy. Here, the story was finally, truly happy. Short epilogue. The startup had gone public. Lin Sui was a billionaire, officially, with a profile in Forbes and everything. Gu Yanchen was the CFO, the quiet genius behind the algorithms. The one journalist called the mysterious co-founder because he refused all interviews. They had a cat now, a fat orange tabby named Plot Twist. He slept on Gu Yanchen's keyboard and knocked things off shelves and was generally useless, and they loved him more than anything. Lin Sui woke up at midnight from a dream he couldn't remember. He blinked at the ceiling, heart racing for no reason, and then he felt Gu Yanchen's arm tighten around his waist. Bad dream. Gu Yanchen mumbled. No, just remembering. The novel. Yeah. Lin Sui turned in his arms. I'm still afraid I'll wake up one day and it'll all be a dream. The real novel. The one where you ended up sad and alone. Gu Yanchen opened his eyes. That's not the real novel. This is, right now, you and me and a fat cat who needs to go on a diet. Plot Twist is not fat. He's robust. He's obese, Lin Sui. The vet said so. The vet is fat-shaming him. They argued about the cat for another 5 minutes, until Plot Twist himself jumped on the bed and settled between them, purring like a broken motor. Hey, Lin Sui said quietly. In another life, you might have ended up miserable with a trash FL. I might have ended up broke and alone. Gu Yanchen pulled him closer. Then in every life, I'd find you instead, even if you showed up with coffee and a terrible plan. That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. I know. Don't get used to it. Lin Sui laughed, soft and happy, and closed his eyes. Outside the window, Shanghai glowed. Millions of lights, millions of stories. Somewhere in another universe, the original novel was still playing out, a tragedy pretending to be a romance. But not here. Here, the second male lead had rewritten the script. Here, the villain got the boy. Here, the story was finally, truly over.